Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Zoe and I'm so happy that you found my little corner of the internet where I love to talk about books. So it is officially February. My January wrap-up should have just been posted, so now I'm here to talk about all the books that I'm hopefully going to read in February. As you may know, I don't typically do a good job of following TBRs, but I'm just trying to pick books that feel like the right vibe for the month and what I'm in the mood for right now. So I picked 18 books for my hopeful list this month. I honestly don't expect to get to all of these. I don't think it's going to be like a big reading month for me like that, but it is possible because there are months where I've read like 20 books. So anything is possible, but I basically just made a really big list to have lots of options basically. So I made this list and I just want to tell you what each one is. I don't even know much about what every single book is about. I just know that I either own it and I'm trying to read for my physical TBR this year, or it's a cute little romance that I'm hoping to read for February for Valentine's Day. And yeah, I'm just really excited for all of these books. I'm hoping to get to as many of them as I can, and I'm excited to tell you what they all are. So let's talk about them. So the first book on the list is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I read quite a few Coho books and I honestly feel like she can be very hit or miss for me. Like, I absolutely adore some of her books and I don't love others, but this one is on Kindle Unlimited. I've had it in my library for quite a while and I figured it's time to finally read it. I don't know much about it, but I've heard very mixed reviews about it. Some people love it, some people don't, and I'm excited to see how I feel about it. The next book to continue my Harry Potter journey is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I love this cover. I just want to start off with, I love the green. I think it's so fun, but this is the 6th book in the Harry Potter series. Obviously, you either know what it's about or you don't. I feel like the majority of people have read it though, so I'm not going to go into it, but I'm having the best time reading through the Harry Potter books, and I'm really excited to finally be on the 6th one, almost done with the series, which is kind of bittersweet because I've really been enjoying it and I don't want it to be over, but I'm really excited to read this one. I think it's going to be good, and it's a bit shorter than the 5th one was, so I'm kind of happy about that because that one was quite a brick and it took me a lot of time to get through. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this one, and I think I'm going to start it like early in the month so that I'm not scrambling to finish it on like the 28th of February like I did with the last book. Next up is another popular book that I feel like almost everyone's read. I've had it since it came out and I started it way back when I bought it. But then I put it aside, not really sure why, because I was enjoying it, but now I'm gonna pick it up again. I will be picking it up this month. It's Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I'm so upset that I haven't read this yet, and actually this is a little embarrassing to say, but this was actually in my February TBR video from last year. If you've seen that, I hope you haven't because that video is so awful. But this was on my February TBR last year, and this year it's actually going to get read. I'm not going to skip over it again. I really want to read it. Everybody loves it so much, and I want to see why. I have read I Kissed Cheryl Wheeler by Casey McQuiston, which was obviously YA, so it's not quite the same thing, but I liked that book a lot, and I think I'll like this one too. So hopefully going to read this one really soon, and the cover is so perfect for this month. Next up, I have a Target sticker on it. Don't judge me, those things are so hard to get off, and if you have tips about getting them off, I would love to hear it. But it is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I have read Beautiful World, Where Are You by her, and I loved it so much. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year, and I've been wanting to read this and Normal People ever since, and I haven't gotten around to either one, but this is the one that I feel like I'm going to enjoy more, so this is my priority. And I've heard really great things about it. So another one that I'm hoping to read this month, but this one is probably like at the bottom of the list as far as the TBR goes because I'm less concerned about getting to this one this month than the majority of the others on the list, but hopefully I can still get to it. Next is one that I know I will be reading because I'm already like 20% into it, and it's Begin Again by Emma Lord. This is actually an arc from NetGalley that I'm just like really behind on reviewing. I was really hesitant to read it because this author is the person who wrote Tweet Cute, and I was not a fan of that book. I really disliked it, so I didn't know what I would think about this one, but so far it's super cute. I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually flying through it, and it's like totally different than Tweet Cute was, so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, so I'm gonna be reading that one this month for sure. So the next book is another one that I'm really bummed that I haven't read yet, and I've actually talked about this before, but it is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. If you don't know, Sarah Adams is like one of my favorite authors. She's like my top comfort author, and I've read like everything she's written except for this. Why, I don't know, because I've had this book for months and months and I just don't pick it up. I honestly think it might be because I'm like afraid to read it because then I have nothing else by her to read until Practice Makes Perfect comes out in May. But I'm finally gonna read it this month because I'm gonna be forced to sit out and watch the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna read this while the game's actually on and then just watch like the commercials in the halftime. But I figured it was like the perfect book to read during the Super Bowl because it's like a football romance, you know? And I think it's gonna be super fun. I love everything that I see about it online and I can't wait to finally read it and know why it's so hyped. Actually, I know why it's hyped. It's Sarah Adams, but I'm just excited to read the story. Next up is kind of like a companion to some books that I really love. It's the Heartstopper yearbook. I adore Heartstopper with everything in me. I love it with my entire heart, and I bought this when it came out. And it looks so cute. It's kind of just like little extra comics and like things about the characters. You can't actually see anything that I'm showing you, but it's like extra little stuff that like is just more about the world of Heartstopper, and I think it's gonna be so cute because you just get to kind of visit the characters again, and it's not so much like a full story like the Heartstopper books are, and it's more just like, again, a companion. So I'm really excited to read it. I think it's gonna be a super quick read but also super fun, and it's gonna make me so happy. So next up, guys, I'm like a broken record saying that I'm gonna read this book, but it's actually gonna happen this month because I'm already 60 pages in and it's gonna be the first book that I read this month, okay? But it's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I don't even know how many videos I have put this in saying I was gonna read it at this point, but I actually am going to this time. I started this mid-January and then put it aside because it was one that I wanted to like really put all my attention into and like really love and focus on. But I was in the middle of several other books, so I put it aside, but those books all took me literally the rest of the month to finish. So here we are. I'm only 60 pages in, but this is going to be my first book that I read this month, and I think I'm going to read this and then Daisy Jones and Malibu Rising and Carrie Soto. I'm gonna read all of those in a row and vlog reading them because I think they're good books to vlog because so many people love them so much, and I can just show you my thoughts reading them for the first time. So this will be read this month, mark my words. If it's not, I literally give up. Like, I don't know. Next is the book that I'm reading for February on my 12 books from 12 book besties list from Instagram. It is called Starling by Kirsten Cram. I've actually never heard of it before, but it was recommended to me and it looked really interesting. And the person who recommended it, I like really trust her book recommendations. She like reads these really great books and she was so passionate about how much she loved it that I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so it's perfect. And it's only like 260, 70 pages, something like that. So I think it's gonna be a really quick read. It apparently is fairly sad according to Storygraph, so I don't know what to think about that. But I'm gonna read it anyway. I think it's gonna be a good time. I think I'm gonna enjoy it and I'm excited for it. Next is one that I'm reading purely because it's finally ready on Libby and I've been waiting months for it. Not that I don't want to read it, it's just that I have like other priorities kind of, but it's The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I absolutely loved her book when I read Part of Your World last year, and I can't wait for Yours Truly that's coming out this year, which is about the best friend from Part of Your World. But this book, I'm so excited for it. I already have Life's Too Short, but I found out that Life's Too Short is like the third book in like companion novels where like you don't have to read the first one or like you don't have to read them in order, but like if you do, you'll know the characters. Anyway, so I've been waiting for The Friend Zone to be available so that I could read it. And it finally is. So I'm gonna read that right away so that I get it read before it has to be returned. And I'm excited about it because Abby Jimenez just has this like really beautiful writing style. She has these really unique and interesting stories that I love a lot, and I'm really excited for it. Next is Dream On by Angie Hockman. I have not read this author. She wrote Shipped, and I actually started to read that last summer and then ended up not being able to because it got returned to the library. This one I just recently got and I didn't know much about it, but the cover's kind of cute and it apparently is like a very unique romance book. Like it's not a typical plot, so I'm excited about that. And I heard that it's closed door, so I like closed door romances. I like how they're just wholesome and sweet and fun, and I'm really excited to read it. Next to go with Evelyn Hugo is Daisy Jones and the Six, another book that I've had for months and months and months and I have not read. Why? I could not tell you because I want to read it so badly. I've wanted to read it for like years, since like before it became super popular. and I just haven't. But I will be reading it this month because I want to have it read before the show comes out, which I'm so excited about. But I won't let myself watch any trailers for it because I want to be like fully experiencing the book for the first time without any like outside knowledge of it, if that makes any sense. But I'm really excited to read it. So many people have told me to, and I think I'm really gonna love it because I love books about bands and music. So I think it's gonna be a really good book for me. Next up is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. So I wanted to buy this book back when it was like first getting popular, but I saw that it was $20 and I was like, what if I end up hating it? So I didn't buy it, but now it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is like so exciting, and I can read that and Daisy Hates. And I have been told by multiple people that it's just like a super good book as long as you're like expecting the toxicity of it and like you're gonna know that it's not good relationships and stuff. But I've heard, that it's like Gossip Girl. I've heard really good things about it, and I think it's going to be a really fun read. I also really love the cover. I think it's so pretty, and I'm just really excited to finally read this one and see why everybody loves it so much. Next on the list is one that I've had for a while. I've talked about it before. I haven't read it because I'm afraid to, because I don't want it to be over. It's one of those books that like I know I'm going to want to read again for the first time, so I've avoided it. Anyway, it's Loveless by Alice Oseman. I'm a big Alice Oseman fan. Her books are like so comforting for me. I love reading them. And yeah, I've wanted to read this one for so long. I think it's going to be like really special, and I'm just afraid of being sad that I can't read it for the first time again. So I've avoided it, but it's time to stop doing that. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to play with like all of my emotions. I'm really nervous actually to see if it like makes me super sad or if it makes me cry, but I just love Alice Oseman again so much. And I'm really excited to finally read this and experience it. The next book I actually cannot show you right now because it is like buried behind my pile of books, but it is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Another book that I've avoided for a long time. I've had this book for a year, I think, and I just haven't read it. I think this one also was in my February TBR last year. I don't want to talk about it. I've wanted to save it for February. That's like where I kind of, that's why I haven't read it yet. I've wanted to save it for Valentine's Day. So I will be reading it this month. I'm nervous to read it now because, as I've said before, I loved Every Summer After so much, and it's compared to it a lot as like a better version of Every Summer After. And I don't want like my opinion of Every Summer After to change just because this book is like better or whatever. I don't know, but I'm excited to read it. I think it's gonna be good. I've liked a lot of the Christina Lauren books that I've read, and yeah, I'm excited to finally experience it and see why everybody talks about it so much. Next is yet another Alice Oseman book. It is Nick and Charlie. This one finally got released in the US in December. I've never read it because I didn't ever buy like the UK version, but I love this cover. Can I just start with that? It's like day on the front, night on the back, and I think it's so cute. But I adore Nick and Charlie. They're literally my favorite ever, and I'm excited to read this. I also think it's really fun that Charlie's reading I Was Born for This, an Alice Oseman book, on the front. But I'm so excited to read this. It's gonna be so cute. Obviously, like part of the audiobook went viral on TikTok at one point last year, and that is just like, it's so sweet. I'm so excited to read the whole thing, get the whole experience, the whole story, and read more about one of my favorite couples ever. Next is one that I bought in like October, but I purposely was saving for February. It's Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman. I have heard really mixed reviews about this one, but I bought it honestly primarily because of the cover. You cannot deny that that is like one of the cutest covers you've ever seen, and it's like so perfect for Valentine's Day. But some of my friends have said that they love this book and that it's like one of their favorites from last year, so I think I'm gonna like it because I'm not super picky when it comes to books, especially like romance books. I'm not super judgy or picky about what I like and don't like, so I think it's gonna be a good time. I think just looking at the cover alone will make me happy and enjoy it more, so I'm excited to read it. I will probably honestly read this one like on Valentine's Day because it's just like so perfect. Finally, the last book that I'm hoping to read this month is Shatter Me. I have the first 6 books, like I have the series, I just don't have the novellas, but I read this book back in 2015 and I rated it 5 stars at the time. I don't know that it would be 5 stars now, but point is I enjoyed it a lot, and I have been talked into reading the entire series now, and I recently bought it. This is just the book that I read when I was in 2015, but I have the whole series, and I think I'm going to start it this month, probably at the end of the month, and then I can just carry into March reading the whole rest of the series because I've been told I'm going to get sucked into it and want to read it all at once. but I'm very excited for it. I remember enjoying this one. I remember a lot about it, but I still think I'm going to reread it, which is why it's on the list. But yeah, I'm excited to read it and read the whole series because it's like such a popular series on BookTok, BookTube, Instagram, everything. So yeah, this is the last book on the list. Hopefully I get to it, but we will see. So those are all the books that I'm hoping to read in February. Again, it's like really relaxed. I'm not expecting to get to all of them, but it would be honestly so cool if I could. So who knows, we will see what happens, but I'm really excited about all of them. If you've read any of them or want to read any of them, I would love to hear about it in the comments, or you can, as always, connect with me on my Bookstagram, which I will link down below. I love making new friends on there and talking to people all about books. So that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.